So, Konnan, you watched NXT this week, huh?
Yes, I did, because I wanted to see the Dominik match, and then when I put it on, Miz was in the middle of the ring with Dolph Ziggler and Rude, and I was like, wow, what a way to open up the show, you know? And I just thought to myself, when they were going up against NXT, instead of bringing Charlotte for 8 weeks in a row or whatever it was by herself, and then for a while they brought Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for I don't know how many weeks, they should have done this, because this show had Rude, it had Ziggler, it had Miz, it had Dominik, it had Ray, it had star power. And that's what they should have done when they were going up against AEW, not be so
I'll have a theory. I have no idea if this is true or not, but I do have a theory on this, is that, you're figuring, okay, we've got 5 hours every week, right? We got this roster, guys. We got SmackDown and Raw, okay? And we're promoting, it's the road to WrestleMania. It's our most important, like 8 weeks worth of television we're doing, right?
Right.
I'm just wondering, they think, you know what? We got 2 hours of time on NXT, too. Let's maybe throw some of these guys that don't have room on Raw tonight, and just throw it on NXT.
Bro, not only that,
and keep promoting for WrestleMania.
Right, and people love collabs and mashups. They love to see Spider-Man with the Fantastic Four, in worlds that you normally wouldn't see. So they like to see guys from Raw and NXT or a guy from MMA. They should be doing more of that.
Let me give you a perfect example, and let me tell you why you see Dolph and Ray. Okay, is that there's probably if you went if you looked at guys good workers in NXT.
Okay, let me just tell you this real quick. This just showed up on my screen. Von Miller just went to Buffalo.
Did he really?
What? Yeah.
Wow. Von Miller did?
Yeah.
So he was only there for just a few games and won a Super Bowl. Now he's going to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Huh?
Wow.
All right. So let me just say this: that there is this sort of groundswell of the fans, everything that they look at the characters on NXT. And they envision them going up to the main roster and having dream matches against guys. I could see him against this. So what they did is some of the guys you would want to see your guys work against would be Dolph and Ray. They're kind of good benchmarks of work. If you can't have a good match with Dolph Ziggler, you're probably no good. If you can't have a good match with Rey Mysterio, you're probably no good. So it's why not just bring them down to NXT and put them against some of these guys? Hey, let's figure this out here right now. Can these guys have good matches with these guys? Let's do it on this show. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. Maybe they're thinking that, because
you could already see when we get to Phantasma, you'll see Phantasma actually comes out and says, you're looking at the world's greatest wrestler, Luchador, and then Ray shows up, and then Dominik goes, actually, it's my dad. So it looks like they're going to set up something.
Let me go over the show. Let's go over the show.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Here's NXT. I didn't see this. You saw this.
Right.
It opens up with Miz making his entrance to host Miz TV. He was cheered until he mentioned Logan Paul, then introduced Dolph and Bobby Roode to the show. NXT champ, but Dolph is the NXT champ, by the way, won last week. Made his entrance to join Miz on Miz TV, and Ziggler talked about how being the champion just feels right. Miz said he respects how Dolph goaded Braun Breaker into putting his title on the line, and then Miz then had the production truck show Braun Breaker's day at the Performance Center via security cam and roaming cameras. Breaker couldn't find Ziggler and was sent home by the WWE coaches, and Miz said Dolph doesn't have to worry about Breaker messing up Miz TV. Dolph said he's a fighting champion before Dolph could see his next sentence out. LA Knight made his entrance, and Knight started out with his "Let me talk to you" catchphrase. Knight congratulated Ziggler for becoming the champion, and Knight said if Breaker can't make it, then Ziggler should defend his title against Knight. Ziggler said he's a fighting champion, but he only fights superstars, so Knight will just have to wait. Miz said he thinks that Knight will be a big deal someday, just not now. Knight said he's not just a superstar, he's a megastar. Knight said that Ziggler claims that it's his show, but this is LA Knight's show. And Knight said if Ziggler thinks this is his show, then show me. Ziggler said he only wrestles in main events. Whenever Knight discovers the main event, he'll find him there. And Miz announced that this week's main event will be Dolph Ziggler versus LA Knight for the NXT Championship.
So this was a great segment to me because A, it was unexpected. 2, you had a lot of good talkers in there. Miz was great. Ziggler was great. Rude really didn't say much. But Ziggler, he deserves that belt. He's worked his ass off, and I'm so glad that he got it. And LA Knight is super over, and he can talk. So those 3 really carried that segment very well. Good opening to the show.
Cameron Grimes versus Escobar for the spot in the North American Championship ladder match of Stand and Deliver. Escobar continued to dominate with methodical offense. Grimes made a comeback. Grimes dumped Escobar to ringside in front of Mello and Trick. Those are who is Mello?
They were on
and Trick?
commentary. They're two black guys, and I think one of them is going to be fighting Escobar because after the match they were challenging each other.
Okay, so Grimes managed to avoid Wild and nail Escobar with a cannonball. Escobar blocked a dive. Grimes hit Escobar with a Spanish fly power slam. Escobar hit Grimes with a knee. Escobar caught Grimes and hit him with the thrill of the hunt for the win in 11.5 minutes. And after the match, Escobar and Mello jawed with each other, and Trick said Escobar is first in line to get laid out by the A champion.
Yeah, and for the people listening to this review, please understand I never watch NXT. So when I tell you I don't know who this Carmelo guy is, and there's a couple other people I don't know when we come to them. But this was a good match. Cameron Grimes is a great wrestler, and so is Fantasma, and they had good chemistry, and it was a good match, except that you knew Escobar was probably going to win.
I have no idea who these people are. Kushida I know, but who he wrestles some guy named A-Kid. I have no idea who that is. And A-Kid won.
It says here Carmelo Hayes is the North American champion, and when he was on the Indies, he was Christian Casanova.
Who?
Yeah, there you go.
Christian Casanova.
Yeah. Okay, well, before...
A-Kid beat Kushida here, whoever that is.
Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Before that, they had done this thing, and you can look it up. This girl, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because they spent a lot of time about her during the whole show. There was like a thread. She must have come out in 3 or 4 segments. But they got this girl called Cora Jade, and bro, they give her a lot of TV time. And to tell you the truth, I'm not sure why she does not come off as a star. She's green. And they need to send her to that AEW YouTube show, whatever it's called, Elevation, for some seasoning.
AEW Dark Elevation.
Yeah, they need to send her there. They really spent a lot of time. You'll see. Oh my God. Well, it's the truth.
This YouTube clip mentioned for Hughes, YouTube Konnan buries Cora Jade.
Yeah.
Next is so Mackenzie Mitchell interviews Santos. Escobar says Stan Deliver will be this time, and he'll be the new North American champion because he's the greatest luchador of all time. Ray and Dominik showed up, and Escobar shook hands with Mysterio. And Wild and Mendoza started to fanboy over Ray. Dominik said the best luchador is Ray. Ray said the man to take Lucha Libre to the next generation is Dominik. Wild and Mendoza laughed it off, and Dominik said he'd fight whoever's willing to step up, and Mendoza seemingly accepted Dominik's challenge. That's actually pretty simplistic storytelling right there.
Right.
You know,
and it was well done. And it was well done.
Dominik's going to be the future of luchadors, and the guys laugh at him.
Right.
It's like, hey, you're laughing. Let's fight. All right, let's go.
Right.
That's kind of like a good street.
And it's funny because Dom always has like the temper between him and Ray. Ray never really gets upset.
Right.
But let me also bring up another one. Please look up this girl. I just want to know how old she is and who she is. Wendy Choo. And I think that's the pajama girl.
Yeah.
That we saw
she's
on top
coming up
of the
next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you about Kushida and A-Kid. So A-Kid is this kid from Spain.
Yeah.
Who's like a big deal in the independents in Europe and then came to the United States, and he's really good. They compare him a lot to Bryan Danielson. I do not see that, but he is good.
Wendy Choo is 30 years old.
Wow. Okay, well, let me just say this. This look that she has, this anime, young girls, guys in the young girls fetish, very JoJo. This very, very it's got to be for girls and I don't know, creeps.
For some reason, she doesn't have a Wikipedia, but I'm looking at her cage match page here, and she wrestled in Ring of Honor. She's from China. She wrestled in Rise. So she came over here from China, worked the Indies, and then she's been in NXT.
No, but she does not have an accent. She doesn't speak like the other Japanese and Chinese girls that you can't understand.
Right.
So you ready for this next match?
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton versus Schoolgirl Sarai, and Tiffany Stratton wins in 54 seconds.
Okay, I wasn't impressed by either one. And this Sarai girl, I think she also set a spell on somebody with some pendant or something like that, which I thought was very hokey. Mm. And she's they should team her up with the Japanese pajama girl, because she literally came out in a Japanese schoolgirl outfit and got the kicked out of her. So
her name is Schoolgirl Sarai.
Oh, is that her name?
That's her actual name for her character.
That's stupid,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like they're taking like a anime character.
Bro, all the
beating her up
stuff.
out there,
Let me
right?
tell you this: all the stuff with the women on this show was terrible. All the women are not ready, and I thought they were bad to terrible.
Wow.
Yep.
So the LA Knight met up with Dominik Mysterio's larger doppelganger, Gunther. Does Gunther look like Dominik a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Gunther said that Knight talked his way to a title match and didn't use skill. Gunther said Knight is an embarrassment to the sport. Knight said his mouth gives him charisma and Gunther needs to find some. And Knight said he's a match to prepare for.
Bro, Knight destroyed Gunther here. He was super on point with his promo. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he just kills guys on the mic, doesn't
Right.
he?
Yeah.
JC Jane was looking for Cora Jade backstage, and she found her title belt and pulled it down, and pulling the belt triggered a door trap, which trapped Jane in a cage. And then Jade taunted
It wasn't
Jane.
in a cage. It was inside of a trash can. It was stupid.
Ciampa comes out. He said, "This is my life, being here in NXT." He said he's been doing this for 17 years. When he was on the Indies, he wanted to find a place where people believe in him. A place where they believe that he can be the guy. And Ciampa said he has a chance to run the ball, and that was in NXT, which is part of WWE, the biggest company in the world. He said that it is gratitude. Jesus, this is a long angle here. A long
Promo.
Yeah, long. So he's putting himself over. And Ciampa said he was supposed to walk in a Mania weekend as champion before, but had to relinquish the title due to injury. Crowd chanted one more match, Ciampa. Ciampa said he honestly doesn't have the answer to his future, and he said he's here to say thank you before it's too late. And he said it means it from the bottom of his heart to everyone. Thank you. Tony D'Angelo, the Tony Soprano character, randomly showed up behind Thomas Ciampa holding a crowbar. D'Angelo dropped the crowbar and grabbed a mic, and D'Angelo said he could have hit Ciampa with a crowbar, but he respects Ciampa. D'Angelo said he was wondering the last few weeks who he has to beat to put himself in the history books, and D'Angelo said he sees Ciampa as that guy, and D'Angelo said Ciampa has been the man of NXT for a while. It would be an honor for he and Ciampa to wrestle and stand deliver. Ciampa shook D'Angelo's hand. D'Angelo pulled Ciampa in and kneed him in the gut. D'Angelo grabbed Ciampa by the head and said after he beats Ciampa, he'll become the new Don of NXT. And he kissed Ciampa and left him on the mat.
So this was so he sat on the top turnbuckle and threw a long promo, like you could tell they're probably bringing him to the main roster because he kept saying how he was sad to leave NXT. So what else could he be doing? And when you were reading this, did you say the Tony Soprano character? Is that who you compared him to?
Tony D'Angelo. Well, yeah. Well, what's he? He's like an Italian.
Okay,
gangster
there's
guy,
no
right?
way he's a Tony Soprano character because Tony Soprano could act. This guy's brutal. He's like your typical Italian meathead that
Overacting, like he's
Right,
acting like an Italian
right,
meathead.
right. And he probably is Italian, but he's
Very
not
racist.
good at it.
Would you say it's? Would I be offended that this is almost racist towards Italians?
I don't.
Are they stereotyping Italians?
Yeah, very,
like,
very
"You guys are
stereotypical.
dumb,"
Very
like,
stereotypical, but he ain't Tony he's one of
like Luca Brasi.
Right, right. He's definitely right.
Like he'd be good. He would have been good in the Mama Luke's, right?
Right.
With Johnny the Bull and Vito,
The
right?
FBI.
He's not a top guy, that's for sure.
Okay. So Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada were arguing backstage, and they're going to have a match. I have no idea who Persia Parada is, but Dexter Loomis showed up from under the ring, and Hartwell rolled up Parada for the victory. And then Hartwell and Loomis confronted Parada and Hudson, and both couples started making out. Parada and Hartwell gave their Mendez presses for some grounded makeout sessions, and Barrett said that Hudson should watch where he's placing his hands because this is a PG show. Gigi Dolan jumped into a dumpster to achieve her title button. Cora Jade trapped Dolan in the dumpster by putting a forklift over the lid, and then we go to commercial.
Okay, let me just tell you about this Persia Parada match. First of all, Persia is very exotic looking. I don't know what country she's from, but
I have no idea who
very exotic looking. And bro, the at the end was absolutely, and I do mean this, disco terrible. So this girl starts making out, this Persia Parada, with some guy. I don't know who he is. So then Indy Hartwell starts making out with Dexter Loomis. Okay, but like long kiss, awkward kind of. Then the other girl throws the guy on the floor and starts making out with him. And then Indy Hartwell throws her guy on the floor, rips his shirt up, and starts making out with him. It was really stupid.
Let me tell you. Let me just say this.
There's
okay, I just want to
Persia Parada is on the screen. Yeah.
Okay, I want you to do this.
Yeah,
all right,
good.
Do this, Joe.
Yeah.
Go to at Persia WWE on Instagram, okay, and pull that up at Persia WWE on Instagram. I want you to see this. This is actually pretty funny. Okay.
Okay.
You got it now? Okay, make it large, widen the screen. All right. Scroll down. How many pictures are in here of her making out with the guy? It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Keep going.
4,
5.
4, 5, 6. Like half of her last 10 pictures were of her making out with that guy. So what are they doing?
It was stupid and brutal.
Well, at least, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, NXT is the only show that is showing romantic relationships between the characters on the show.
That is true, but it's corny.
Isn't that weird that that's the only show? It may be corny, but you would think that atmosphere would persist on like these other shows that have all these hot girls on.
Right, 1,000%.
I just wonder if these girls are not willing to do that. Like maybe they have boyfriends.
No, they're kind of like nerds. Nerds aren't in, they don't even know how to talk to a girl. See, what the would they know about being a Mac? So
right. Okay, so next is the main event, and Dominik's in the main event of NXT against Raul Mendoza. And
this was not the main event.
Oh, it's not the main event? Well,
no.
I thought it was here.
The main event was...
Oh, no, okay, yeah. December. I didn't realize there were... Usually there's only 5 matches, so there's 6, I guess. So Dominik beats Raul Mendoza with the Frog Splash 3 minutes.
Okay, let me tell you this match. The crowd was...
Briggs and... Wait, time out. There's a... Okay.
Right.
Raul Mendoza's... Okay, Ray is with... Dominik's with Ray. Raul Mendoza's with Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Elektra Lopez. Lopez distracted Mysterio, which allowed Mendoza to nail Dominik with an enziguri. Fallon Henley showed up to distract Elektra. Briggs and Jensen confronted Elektra and Wilde. Ray punched out Escobar, and Dominik set up Mendoza with a 619, and Dominik hit him with the Frog Splash for the win. Okay, who is Fallon Henry, Briggs, and Jensen, and Elektra Lopez?
Okay, Elektra Lopez is some girl that they put in the Legado del Fantasma, which I don't think they need her because she doesn't really add. Where is she from, anyways? Elektra Lopez, if you can check, Joe. Then that other trio that came was some skinny white girl, which might be the one we're looking at now, and 2 white guys. I don't know who they are. Well, basically what happened was this Dom went to the top.
Fallon Henry? Is that who you're talking about?
I don't know what their names are.
Okay, who is it? Pull this. That's Elektra Lopez, right?
Yeah.
Where's she from?
Jersey.
Probably Puerto Rican. Yeah, she adds nothing to them.
Yeah, she looks pretty tough, to be honest with you, because she's kind of thick a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't look bad. Not bad at all. All right, what about Fallon Henry, this other chick, Joe? I have no idea who these people are.
Yeah, I got it.
Henley, Fallon Henley. And then also look up Briggs and Jensen, whoever that is.
There's Fallon Henley on the right there.
Let me see. Oh, she looks pretty hot.
She looks way better there than she did on TV.
Yeah, there's her. There's her like promo pic from.
That's
Ciampa.
her. Look, look at that.
Okay, so that's her. All right.
Who's the third one?
And what about Briggs and Jensen? All right, who are these guys?
Kind of normal.
Oh, you know what these guys look like? They look like. Oh, those look like AEW guys. That's like look like a typical like AEW indie tag team guys. You know. All right. So go ahead, Konnan.
So I really thought the crowd was really behind Dominik here. Mendoza's a great worker, which helps Dom, who's still evolving and learning. He threw some weird-looking forearms. And I will say this to Dom. After watching Montez and the Usos do the Eddie Guerrero frog splash, you need to upgrade your frog splash, my bro.
So next, Cora Jade was in the parking lot with Mandy Rose's NXT Championship in a paint spray can. She decided not to use the can, decided to go to the driver's seat of Rose's car with the title belt. For some reason, there was already a cameraman in the passenger seat. Mandy Rose appeared from the back seat and beat up Cora Jade, and Rose picked up the paint can and spray painted the back of Jade.
This was brutal, overacted. They don't know what they're doing. And like I said, all the women there should be on the Elevation show for more seasoning. They're not ready for these spots, bro. And it really looks bad. Very
What if NXT started a YouTube show called NXT Dark? And they just had
that would be great. I would, bro. And this is, people hate this, but I'd rather watch them playing beach volleyball or something, than what they're doing. It's brutal. The
Creed brothers were in the ring yelling for their attackers to show up and face them, and MSK made their entrance, and Barrett said he totally thinks MSK did it. MSK did what? I don't even know what's going on here. MSK noted that they didn't do it and even offer the Creed's first crack at the title. Bivens noticed that the Creed beat Creeds beat MSK in the Dusty Classic, and Imperium made their entrance from the Crow's Nest. Both the far-right Ukrainian, Eastern European Nazi characters said they were all fighting for something they're never going to obtain. Bivens dared Imperium to come down and give them the title shot they deserve. Wes Lee said MSK deserve a title shot as much as the Creeds. Acher said they don't see either team as worthy, and Acher proposed a triple threat match to stand deliver. Barthel said that Bivens likes to talk about reality and perception. The perception makes it seem like the triple threat matches put Imperium in disadvantage, but Imperium fears no one.
Okay, there were 6 guys here. None of them were good on the mic. And I hate to say that about MSK because I like them as people, but their was mega whack. Imperium does not know how to generate heat on the mic. And this, to me, was not a good segment, even though the match will probably be very good.
Cameron Grimes is all sweaty in an interview by Mackenzie Mitchell and said he's disappointed he won't get a chance to wrestle at the NXT Big Show. Said the last thing he told his father before his father passed away was that he signed to NXT and was going to be a champion. Grimes has been 3 years, and all he's been is disappointing. Poor guy. LA Knight makes his entrance. Malcolm Bivens questioned the grizzled young veterans in Enof and Blade if they attack the Creed brothers. Who is Enof and Blade? Pull that up, Joe. Enofe and Blade. Enof and Blade said they were busy creeping on Mandy Rose, and Zach Gibson said Enof and Blade sound like simps. The Creed brothers showed up to yell at everyone, and Gibson said they didn't attack the Creeds, but if they knew how easy it was to get a title match, they would have jumped the Creeds 3 weeks ago. Bivens challenged the grizzled young vets on behalf of the Creed brothers for a match next week. Any comments on this?
This was not good either.
Dolph Ziggler versus LA Knight. Dolph Ziggler defeats LA Knight in 11 minutes and 48 seconds. How was this?
This was very good. It was very short, though. I thought it would be a little bit longer.
12 minutes? That's short.
Was it 12?
11:48.
Didn't seem that long. But it was a good match. It was a good match. The only bad thing is when you kind of knew, LA Knight was not winning. But good match.
And then Braun Breaker comes out at the end.
And I think Ziggler's going to – yeah, right. I was going to say that. Ziggler's going to fight Breaker next. And I hear good things about Breaker. I haven't really seen him yet.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll go fight next week, so we'll see.
Yeah. So I'll say, let me just say this about this show. The opening was very good. A lot of great talkers in the beginning. All the Cora Jade was very whack. All the women was whack, straight up and down, from the pajama girl to the school girl to the every girl, really. What was the other thing? The Thomas Ciampa thing, good promo. The with the Tony Soprano guy, I thought was terrible. Dominik was good, and the Ziggler and LA Knight thing was good. So it had some good and some bad.
Interesting. That's been the NXT review.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.